Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum, dear students. I welcome you all on behalf of the Biology Learning Zone. In this lecture, we will discuss about the MCQs on the history of microbiology. Let's start with the first MCQ. Who perfected a magnetic lens in 1927? Option A is Geber, Broglie, Bush, or none of these. So it was the Geber who perfected a magnetic lens. MCQ number two, microhyzy was first observed by, it was an association between the fungi and the roots of the hydro plants. It was first of all observed by the Frank. Phagocytic theory was proposed by Louis Pasteur, Elie Mechnikov, Behring or Vidal. It was proposed by Mechnikov. Anaphylaxia was first observed by Porter and Richet, Coombs, Gale or none of these. So it was by Porter and Richet. Mycobacterium tuberculosis was first discovered by option A is Robert Koch, Edward Jenner, Louis Pasteur or none of these. So it was discovered by the Robert Koch. Mycobacterium deprived was discovered by Robert Koch, Henson, Edward Jenner or Louis Pasteur. Leprae was discovered by Henson. The transfer of genetic material during transformation is proved based on Griffith experiment by Avery, McLeod and McCarthy, Lederberg and Tellem, Zinder and Lederberg, Watson and Crick. So the best option is A. Avery, McLeod and McCarthy. Primary mediators in anaphylaxis is histamine, serotonin or heparin. So it was all of these. Streptococcus pneumonia was isolated by Robert Koch, Edward Jenner, Anthony van Leeuwenhoek, or Louis Pasteur. So it was Louis Pasteur. Bacillus anthracis was isolated by Louis Pasteur, Robert Koch, Anthony van Leeuwenhoek, or none of these. So it was Robert Koch. Keep in mind, Bacillus anthracis was the first bacteria to be isolated, and it was the first bacteria to be isolated that it caused the disease. Arthus reaction was discovered by Marrice Arthus, von Perquit, Richet or Porter, so it was Marrice Arthus. Serum sickness reaction was discovered by Marrice Arthus. Hybridoma technique was developed by Kohler and Milestone, Neil Jarn, both A and B or none of these, so it was Kohler and Milestone. Neisseria gonorrhoeae was first described by Neisser in 1879, Pasteur in 1878, Robert Koch or none of these, so it was Neisser in 1879. Rh factor of the blood was discovered by scientists Louis Pasteur, Landsteiner and Wiener, Jansky, Mohs or none of these, so it was by the Landsteiner and Wiener. If the vectors transmit the infection mechanically, they are called biological vector, mechanical vector, biological reservoir or both and B. So it is a mechanical vector. Next question is, blood grouping were first discovered by Landsteiner. Vibrio Cholerae was discovered by Koch. Option B is Mechnikov, John Snow or Virtue. It was the Robert Koch. Escherichia coli was first isolated by option A is Louis Pasteur, option B is Escherichia, Shija and Robert Koch. So it was the Escherichia. That's what is given the name as the Escherichia coli. Staphylococcus aureus was isolated by Rosenberg, Louis Pasteur, Passert, Sir Alexander and Oxton. So it was Louis Pasteur. Pseudomonas aeruginosa was first named by Schroeter and Guissard, Robert Koch, Louis Pasteur or Edward Jenner. It was Schroeter and Guissard. Treponema pallidum was discovered by option A is Robert Koch, Jourdain and Hoffman. Option C is the Louis Pasteur or Edward Jenner. So it was Jourdain and the Hoffman. Which of the following developed a set of postulates for determining whether a particular disease is caused by a particular pathogen? It was Robert Koch, who gave the Koch postulates a specific disease is infection is caused by a specific microorganism. Which of the following individual is credited uh, for definitely refuting the theory of spontaneous generation using broth in swan neck flask? Option A is Aristotle, John Baptista von Helmont, John Needham, or Louis Pasteur. So the best option is the Louis Pasteur. Which of the following individuals argued in favor of the theory of spontaneous generation? Francisco Redi, Louis Pasteur, John Needham, and Lazarus Planzani. So it was the John Needham who who argued in favor of the theory of spontaneous generation. Which of the following individuals did not contribute to the establishment of the cell theory? Girolamo Fracastoro, Matthias Schleiden, Robert Remarque, or Robert Hooke. So it was the Girolamo Fracastoro who did not contribute to the establishment of the cell theory. Which of the following scientists experimented with raw meat, maggots, and flies in an attempt to disprove the theory of spontaneous generation? Option A is Aristotle, Lazarus Planzani, Antonio von Leeuwenhoek, or Francesco Redi. So the best option is the Francesco Redi, who proposed of the endosymbiotic theory of mitochondria and chloroplast origin was ultimately accepted by the greater scientific community. Rudolf Virchow, Ignaz Semmelweis, Linus Margulis, or Theodor Schwann. It was Lin Margulis. Fluorescence was first observed by Kohler. By using fluorescence property, fluorescent antibody technique was developed by Coons. Thank you so much. That's all about the basic MCQs on the history of the microbiology. In the next lecture, we will discuss more MCQs in the microbiology. It will be helpful for all types of exams.